Hello there, Shortcuts. Stephen here. This is video one for the Shortcuts price list, which will go out 9 p.m. Sydney time sharp on Wednesday evening. That's Wednesday the 6th. If you would like to be on the price list and haven't already sent me your email, then please do so. shortcutsrecords@gmail.com. We're almost up to 250 subscribers and over 311 subscribers now on the YouTube channel, which is awesome. So here we go. This list is jazz, classical, blues, and bossa nova. There you go. Now, on the weekend, I recorded a video. I opened the Miles Davis Electric Miles box set that I bought with my remaining credit from Vinyl Me Please before they fire me as a customer. As a side note, 15 records from about 8 or 9 of you have been listed out on my VMP final request. So if you still have time, you still have time to look at last week's list and select some of the records. And if any Vinyl Me Please pressings kind of catch your eye, make sure and let me know. I will probably put the order in tomorrow. Okay, so that's the 5th. All right, so jazz. So I opened the Miles Davis Electric box and I spent Saturday afternoon listening to those records. And that box set is absolutely tremendous. I am loving it. I will find other copies of some of these records and get them to you, which might give you a clue as to what my lead-off record is today. I'm linking the two. So I did the Miles Davis unboxing, and my lead-off record is a Miles Davis record from the Electric era. And I listened to this record for the first time on Saturday. I'm yet to make my mind up as to what I prefer. I listen to Jack Johnson in a Silent Way, and this is Miles Davis Live Evil. And by the way, look at this amazing sleeve. So this, I can't remember her name, female artist painted this sleeve of a pregnant woman, which Miles Davis looked at and said, so that's life. I would like an evil equivalent. So the painter painted this, and as you can see, Miles Davis is now mirror imaged and live becomes evil. And this apparently was based on a Time magazine cover shoot of Mr. J. Edgar Hoover. How cool. Now, on the inside, you get lots of images of Miles, but the inside is really important because this record is a mix of live, studio, all sorts of things. And compared to In a Silent Way and Jack Johnson's quite rock in a silent way, very meditative. This is funky as, and a lot of it's to do with the roving band of musicians. So I'm just going to read out some of the names here. You've got Jack DeJohnette, who was part of this band. John McLaughlin, the guitarist, who was awesome on the Jack Johnson record, was invited in to take part in this band at the last minute because Miles Davis decided he wanted an electric guitar feel, but caused a bit of tension with Gary Bartz, who was his saxophonist, who's got some pretty amazing records of his own. And in fact, Vinyl Me Please have a Gary Bartz record of the month. This also features, amongst others, Wayne Shorter, Keith Jarrett on trumpet, Keith Jarrett on piano, my apologies. Herbie Hancock is in here on side 2 and side 3. Chick Corea. It is an unbelievable mixed Joe Zawinul on keyboard, and he actually wrote some of these songs as well. It's seriously funky, very quite cohesive considering just how wild the music is. And this music really is a stretchy, malleable, kind of amorphous mix of kind of jazz sensibilities with funk and grooves. It's an incredible job by producer Ted Macero, who mixed and matched a lot of these jam sessions into something that's cohesive. He did that with a lot of Miles Davis's electric period records. Now this is the Japanese first press quadraphonic. Now, I've been reading the reviews of this on the Steve Hoffman website and others, and apparently this is the copy to have. The only reason I'm selling this off my own shelf is because I've got the box set, and it just doesn't make any sense. This thing is awesome, and so someone will pick up an incredible record. Miles Davis, Live Evil, a completely immersive experience. I think the more I listen to Miles Davis, the more I think he might be my favorite musician. Not sure if some of these are my favorite albums, but in terms of his career and his drive and his creativity and his sheer balls out, I don't care what anyone else thinks, drive, I think he's awesome. And I've got another one here that is another one of my favorite Miles records, but this is prior to the electric period. This is, I think, his greatest ever sleeve. It's his greatest side one. I don't like side two as much, particularly the last track, Nothing Like You, which is the only vocal track by a guy called Bob Duro. And I just don't like it, but Prince of Darkness, Pee-wee, Limbo are incredible. And this is Miles Davis's Sorcerer. Look at that sleeve. It's wonderful. Miles the Sorcerer, dealer in magic, alchemist of the night, dark prince of metal, water, fire, and wood, Merlin of the night sounds. 1967's The Sorcerer. I reckon this is one of the great albums of the 60s, and I don't know if this is the first press or not, but it's a lovely looking Japanese press. I will figure it all out by the time I do the price list. It's got a really nice inner as well. Miles Davis's Sorcerer. Now, I know a few of you out there have this record. Not enough for it to reach Shortcut's royalty status, but I've had very positive feedback. This record as well, I know quite a few of you have it. It's wonderful. This is, I'm just going to get the exact title right, A Night at Birdland with the Art Blakey Quintet. Now this pressing comes complete with Obi. This of course is the classic Clifford Brown, Lou Donaldson, Horace Silver, Art Blakey Quintet. Oh my gosh, I love this album. Well, you know how much I love Art Blakey. This, for those of you who are maybe newer to the group, is the Swing Journal Seal of Approval. Now, the Swing Journal was the premier kind of genre music magazine in Japan, primarily jazz, some blues, and it would put its seal of approval on records that it thought kind of traversed the time and should be part of the jazz canon. And this is the Swing Journal Seal of Approval for Art Blakey's Night at Birdland. Volume 1. Volume 2 is great, not quite as good as Volume 1. And so I always grab Volume 1 whenever I see it. Split Kick once in a while. Quicksilver, of course, it has A Night in Tunisia. Leonard Feather does a tremendous job with the liner notes, as always. All right, now finally in this jazz quartet to start things off. This is, I think, right up there with John Coltrane's greatest. I am not a massive John Coltrane fan, but I am a fan of this, his only vocal record on the Impulse label, John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. This is a really nice press. I think it's a first press. Look at that. Great classic Impulse sleeve. Johnny Hartman's voice is wonderful. The whole thing is just a Sunday afternoon delight. McCoy Tyner's piano playing is absolutely beautiful. The only word to describe it is beautiful. The whole album is just a velvet tickle. And if you haven't explored John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman, now's the time. All right, before we go into a big swathe of blues, I am going to talk about something that I think is worthy of your attention for those of you who like classical music. So this is In a Time Lapse by Ludovico Einaudi. It was released in 2013. I love this autumnal scene in the centerfold. It's only ever had one vinyl release, and this is it. This is the sleeve and label. It's in fantastic condition. It is primarily piano-led classical music. It is one of the best reviewed modern classical records of the 2010s. This was released in 2013. 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. On Decca, something different. I think beautiful. Anyway, hopefully someone likes it. Okay, now we have the blues. I'm going to start off with this. This is Bummer Road by Sonny Bill Williamson. This is a compilation that was released in 1969 of Sonny Bill's greatest records from probably 1958 to 1960. So really his golden period. It's notable for a couple of things. One, it is clearly one of the great blues albums of the 60s. There is no doubt. It's absolutely brilliant. But the compilation stands out for a key reason. And that is that the producer of the record at the time decided to include a 12-minute version of a song called Little Village, which was one of Sonny Boy Williamson's live kind of standards. And he was trying to put it down on wax in the studio with the live band. And the banter, the stop-start, I think over the course of 12 minutes, I think it gets to 10 takes. There's someone in the booth, the producer obviously yelling at them, too fast, too slow, you came in at the wrong point. And you can kind of piece that together as you listen to it. But the language that was used is, let's call it, what's the word? Not Latin, but it's forceful language, expletive laden, kind of up there with the Trogs tapes. So this got a warning. A whole bunch of people were up in arms. That you can't have F words on an album. Maybe one of the first to have it, and it's supremely entertaining. It's great. This photo was taken by Mr. Willie Dixon as well. All right, now I've got a few Japanese and Vinyl Me Please blues records, and then actually I think I've got 6 or 7 blues records today. So we'll get into it. So this is the first and only vinyl appearance of John Lee Hooker's, I think it's 2011, I'll have to double check, but it's his double album, The Best of Friends. And so it's new versions of his greatest songs, Boogie Chillin', The Healer, I Cover the Waterfront, Boom Boom, Tupelo, Baby Lee, but featuring Ry Cooder, Robert Cray, Booker T. Jones, Ben Harper, an absolute standout appearance from Van Morrison, Bonnie Raitt, Charlie Musselwhite, Jimmy Vaughan, This was a Vinyl Me Please exclusive, so you can see there it's number 307, 750. First ever vinyl release, pressed on exclusive red and black marble vinyl, limited to 750 copies. This copy is still sealed. If you like your John Lee Hooker, that's a treat. Okay, I've got a few Japanese records to go through now. We just mentioned Sonny Bill Williamson, but this is one of my favorite blues series that was pressed in Japan. So you can't tell this, but I'm just going to try and explain it. But this matte finish on these records is absolutely beautiful. Look at that red silhouette of Sonny Boy. And this is pressed on Chess label, Chess vinyl. The greatest kind of compilation. Don't Start Me to Talk, All My Love in Vain, Dissatisfied. My favorite, Your Funeral, and My Trial. The best was Sonny Boy Williamson, a really beautiful Japanese, and that's the first press from Japan of that compilation. Do I have two or do I just have one? I've got one BB King record. There Must Be a Better World Somewhere, Japanese press in absolute, clearly unplayed condition, complete with OB. One of BB's run of 70s blues records. They're all just delightful. This one, let's see. Oh, has Bernard Pretty Purdy on drums, for those of you who know these things. And notably, this record is considered one of BB King's canon records because Mr. Dr. John plays piano on that record, which is pretty cool. All right. Another sealed Vinyl Me Please exclusive, this time Coral Keys by Walter Bishop Jr. Now, these black and white kind of VMP exclusives were kind of interesting. First US vinyl reissue of this classic piano combo featuring Woody Shaw, Harold Vick, and so we had Bernard Pretty Purdy playing with BB King. In this record, you got Idris Muhammad playing with Walter Bishop Jr. I listened to that record, and he's influenced by Herbie Hancock. So if you love Herbie Hancock and Idris Muhammad, can't go wrong with Coral Keys by Walter Bishop. All right, now something completely different. Look at this for a sleeve. This is the Milton Banana Trio. This is a Brazilian band. Made quite a few records, and this is one of their best. This is Ame Amigo Tom, which I think must be a reference to Tom Gibbon, who was a friend of theirs at the time. And so this is Brazilian bossa nova music. You can see a long list of tracks, because these types of records, they tend to churn through the tracks. And what a front sleeve that is. It just looks like Copacabana, doesn't it? I'm trying to see if there's any note on who some of the musicians are. I know there are some of you out there who love your Brazilian bossa. This is on the RCA Orange label. Now I have a UK first press, and this is an unusual one, and one that I think is pretty special. Ironically, the album's called Mr. Wonderful. This is the UK, now can you see that? The UK first press of Fleetwood Mac's Mr. Wonderful album. I'm pretty sure this is their second album. This is Peter Green, Jeremy Spencer, John McVie, and Mick Fleetwood. Really cool inner, of course, to support Mick Fleetwood's completely mad full-length gatefold. This has got Stop Messing Around, Love That Burns, Need Your Love Tonight, which became, I think, maybe their first UK single. Now, the UK first press came out on this label, which is really pretty. It's a lovely copy. Can you see that? The Mr. Wonderful Fleetwood Mac on the Blue Horizon label. That's a new one on me. So there you go. I would clearly keep this, except I've got multiple copies of this album, which I love to bits. And so that's a really special one. the first UK press of Mr. Wonderful by the blues era Fleetwood Mac. All right, couple more to finish. We had a classic record from Sonny Williamson, Bummer Road before. Now we have Memphis Slim's Born with the Blues. Memphis Slim on piano and vocals, of course. But what I love about this record is one of my favourite guitarists, Lowell Fulsom, is the guitar player. And one of my favourite drummers, who's S.P. Leary, who's the drummer on my favourite blues album of all time by Otis Spann. And so the biggest thing since Colossus. And if you saw, I did a stack ranking of my favourite blues albums of all time last year. So you'll find it on my YouTube feed. But this is a lovely record. And, Memphis Slim, piano-based blues with a quality guitar player is one of my favourite ways that this genre kind of makes me smile. I'm a big fan of Memphis Slim in general. And then finally, one more record that I enjoy very much. This is a series of records on the Riverside label that were called the Classic Jazz Masters. And so this one is Georgia Tom and Friends. So this is a compilation of kind of the original blues masters. So you've got Lee Dorsey, Georgia Tom himself, the Hokum brothers. And what I love about this is, can you see the inside? So the inside of the record is effectively listening notes and lyrics and concert sheets and just all sorts to add to your enjoyment of this great series. Now, this has, whilst it says Classic Jazz Masters, this is clearly blues, and they've got, if you ever see the Blind Blake Blues, the legendary Bix, but they also have a series of these Classic Jazz Masters. You ever see them grabbing? The sound quality is really good, and I just love the package. It's just a lot of fun. All right, so there you have it, a series of jazz, blues, and bossa nova, and a little bit classical. If you would like to be on the price list, drop me an email, shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. There'll be a second list of classic rock featuring some hip-hop and classic rock and all sorts of fun things to follow later on tonight. But there you have it. As always, would love your feedback. Please subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know you're alive, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.